Grand Rising, one and all. Happy Wednesday. It is October 29th, 2025. Super excited to be here with you today. Hopping on. It is day 19 of my 100 days of going live. Inspired by sharing insight with you each and every day based on the work that I do, who I serve, and the pain point that I help my clients with. For those of you who don't know who I am, Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon. I'm the founder of Holistic Fitness and why I serve, help, and transform women over 40, helping them to release emotional weight without dieting and holding space for them so they can feel confident and courageous to step away from their 9-to-5 and move into their soul's work. Today's topic, 3 words I want you to remember today, is emotions, food, and inflammation. Those 3 words, very powerful 3 words we're going to be speaking about. And I'm going to throw in one more word to this, which is awareness. Awareness. How aware are you to your emotions? How aware are you to the foods that you eat? And how aware are you of the correlation that your emotions and food may be the very thing that's creating the inflammation that shows up in your physical body? Those of you who do follow me on a regular basis, you know that I'm an advocate of understanding that our emotions are the very thing that creates the physical symptoms that show up in our physical body. So when an emotion is not being addressed, and it's not being addressed over a period of time, what eventually is going to happen is your physical body is going to send you a message. And that message may show up in your head, it may show up in your stomach, it may show up in your shoulder, it may show up in your back, it may show up in your knees, your hips, etc., etc. And that's usually an indication that there's something out of alignment in regards to how you are feeling. And whatever that feeling is associated with regarding your storyline. And this does not necessarily have to be where it's got to be about a sad thing. It can also very well be about some big gigantic leap that you just recently took. Maybe you wrote a book, maybe you got on stage for the first time, maybe you're being seen and heard for the first time, and all of this may create an impact of emotions that may flood up, and that itself may create symptoms in your physical body that may very well be connected to a childhood trauma where you now get to sit and reflect on who you were then and who you are now. So when we think about emotions, we think about food, we think about inflammation and the awareness behind. I'm going to ask you today, if you are not aware of your emotions, to start paying attention to how you feel, perhaps maybe when you first get up, how you're feeling. And it's not just about saying, I feel good, I feel bad. It really is about making a connection to how do you really feel? Do you feel vivacious? Do you feel energized? Do you feel excited? Do you feel strong? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel? When we just use the words, I feel good, I feel bad, we're not really defining and the awareness of what it is we're really feeling. And I really would like for you to start getting in the habit of evaluating how you feel. And whatever that feeling is, what is the story behind that feeling? Like, I shared a post the other day regarding the other night I had a really challenging time sleeping because I was so excited about something that's going on behind the scenes that the excitement literally kept me up. I tossed, I turned, this thing and that thing. I just had so much energy and could not sleep. I think I basically got like an hour and a half of sleep that night just from excitement. Now, of course, when I woke up in the morning, in my mind, I was I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a day that's going to be intense because I didn't get that much sleep the night before. However, that was not true. I had a lot of energy the next day, and I decided, as I usually do, is that I wanted to make sure during my workout that I would utilize this energy that I had so that that night I would be able to sleep better. So I was very much aware that the energy that was keeping me awake was not bad energy, it was excitement. And sometimes we have so much excitement going on that it does prevent you from sleeping. So when we think about the emotions we are experiencing, it's really important to pay attention to what is the storyline behind that emotion. And now for some, based on the emotion that we're experiencing, food may very well be attached to the emotion. So whatever it is that you're choosing to fuel your body with, what food you are eating, pay attention to how your body responds to the food you're eating. So for example, if you are sensitive, physically sensitive, emotionally sensitive, you may be food sensitive as well, where if you are having one of those days where you are extremely sensitive, you may have to evaluate what food you're going to choose to eat and minimize sugar. Because if you are sensitive for that particular day, and this can go from day to day, it's not something that you may need to do on a regular basis, you may need to evaluate your sensitivity and how that's going to play a role on your body. So if you are extremely sensitive in that moment of time, that food you're choosing to fuel your body with may show up with a negative response where you have inflammation. And that inflammation could very well be the very thing that is creating the physical symptom that's showing up in the body. So when we have the awareness, the understanding, and we can like connect the dots, so to speak, we can, I'm going to use this word, not a word I usually use, we can quickly resolve the issue to what's in the tissue. I'm going to say that again. When we have the awareness to what's going on with our emotions and what's showing up in our physical body as the inflammation, we can quickly resolve the issues that's sitting in the tissues. And that means we can heal and move forward into something different, as opposed to experiencing going through the inflammation and then being laid up for a few days because we are not aware of what might have created the inflammation. And it's almost like that expression, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Asking ourselves, what came first? Does the emotion create the inflammation? Or did the food create the inflammation? Which one came first? And sometimes we really don't know, because we're not paying attention to what is actually going on. So today, if I may, as we say, just for today, become more aware of how you're feeling emotionally, what foods are you using to fuel your body, and how are those foods fueling your body? Is it creating an inflammation? And if there's inflammation that's showing up in your physical body, what is the emotion that may be connected to the inflammation? The awareness. So that you can quickly begin to release the issues that's in the tissues and start to feel better. Because you are your own healer. You are your own doctor. You have the medicines that you can work with to help you really get to this point where if there is an underlying emotion that you're not addressing, we have to evaluate, well, what are we replacing? So if we're feeling sad, are we looking for food that's going to fill that sadness? And the same goes if we're feeling excited. We're so excited that like we want to celebrate. What foods are we using for celebration? And most of the time when we're in the celebration, and this is a perfect example because we are moving into holiday season, what we often find, and I actually heard this on a TikTok, and this was something I also heard many years back, and it's so true that it is believable. When we think about, as of this moment of time right now in October, we're at the end of October, we're moving into Halloween season, and when we think about it, whether you celebrate Halloween or not, immaterial, when we move into Halloween season, we're going to see in the stores lots of candy. So whether you celebrate Halloween or not, if you like candy, you're more likely to go to the store and buy candy. And the candy is sweet. It's literally artificial ingredients in the candy. And those candies could very well be the thing that may be creating the inflammation in your body. And whatever's going on emotionally for you, so understanding your storyline. So from the beginning of Halloween, and then we have Thanksgiving, so we have again, more food that we're going to put in our bodies, and most of the time it's going to be desserts. It may be just a lot of food. Because again, even if you were to choose to eat in moderation, so if you want to have that slice of pie, pumpkin pie, my favorite, you want to have that slice of pie and that's where it stops, that's perfect. But if you decide to have the slice of pie and then you go and have the cookies and then you go to have the ice cream and then you have your dinner, that's a lot of food to be taking in and not be aware that perhaps the next 2 or 3 days your body's going to be inflamed based on what you ingested. So we have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, and then of course we have all the other holidays, whether it's Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, and pardon me if I missed any. Yeah, if I missed any, my apologies. So then we have those holidays as well, which again, more food and more sweets, because most people, when they celebrate, they're going to celebrate by bringing pies, by bringing cookies, even fruit for that matter. Most of the time when people bring fruit someplace, they're bringing the sweet foods as opposed to the antioxidant foods like your blueberries. So we want to pay attention, especially during the season that we're going to be moving in over the next 12 weeks, because when we talk about October, we talk about Halloween, that's October, and then we have the entire month of November, where if we did buy the candy that we may have that candy in the house for the entire month of November that we're picking on here and there, and we're not paying attention to the fact that we're eating and consuming this additional sugar that we're putting into our body. And theoretically, when we talk about foods that do create inflammation in our system, it really is the sugar. The artificial sugars, when consumed in high consumption, creates a lot of inflammation in our system. And if you're not doing anything to address whatever emotions you have going on, there's where the physical symptoms may very well show up. And even if you are feeling great, you're feeling excited, you're uplifted, etc., you still may experience some inflammation. Understand, when we talk about inflammation means that there's resistance in the body when we talk about inflammation. Metaphysically, inflammation is just another sign of there's anger within. Whether it's a conscious anger or an unconscious anger, there's an anger within us that needs to be addressed. And that anger could very well be more related to something that you experienced in your childhood, and it's showing itself up now. So again, we want to remember that the 4 words: what emotions are you feeling? How are you using food to feed those emotions? And through the emotion and the food, how are you experiencing inflammation? And are you aware of when this all started? Now, when I speak about the word all started, I'm not speaking about your childhood. I'm now speaking about in this moment of time. Are you aware of what it is you have done in the last, give and take, 7 days? Because now this is a present awareness. This is what's going on right here, right now. What have you done in the last 7 days that you may very well be feeling the inflammation? Or for that matter, you may be experiencing the bloat, the constipation, or even the diarrhea. And I know this sounds like a lot of TMI, but the reality of it all, when we think of bloat, constipation, or diarrhea, that's all solar plex energy. That's about your gut. That's about intuition. That's about following the process. That's about trusting where you are right now. So the awareness of what emotions are stirring up for you. And in theory, when we think about the holiday season, even though it theoretically is a joyous time of the year, but for many people, it's not a joyous time of year. Sometimes this brings up a lot of pain and sadness because of missing loved ones. And that too is going to create we'll use the word emotional block, that may itself create physical symptoms to show up. So I'm leaving with you, I'm leaving for you today to really sit with those 4 words: your emotions, food, inflammation, and awareness. How aware are you with your emotions? When you get up in the morning, check in. How am I feeling today? And it's not just about good or bad. Because if you just use the word good or bad, it's going to go nowhere. You really want to sit and ask, how am I feeling today? When I woke up this morning, I woke up with a little bit more energy. I was excited for my day. Looking forward to create the intentions that I've just set in prayer. And I'm addressing the emotions to how I feel. It's not just good or bad. How you really feel. And where are you feeling these feelings in your body? How are you feeling? Where is that excitement showing up? Where is your energy coming through? Now let's say you woke up not feeling so great. Let's say you didn't have a good night's sleep. Excuse me. Let's say you're not living on purpose. So let's say you have a job that's a 9 to 5 and it's not really aligned with you, and you're just doing it because theoretically it supports your material lifestyle. So you're getting up in the morning with the, I have to get up and go do this, or now I got to go sit in traffic for X amount of hours. How is that story playing in your journey, and how is that story playing in your body? Because again, if you start your morning off with, I have to go do this, then that's going to create a different relationship with food. And it's definitely going to create some inflammation in the body because there's something out of alignment. And I say this often, our body is our biggest messenger. So when you're waking in the morning, or whatever time you do wake, and you're waking and you're feeling tired, or you're irritable, or you got a headache, or you're feeling bloated, or you're just not moving at the pace you want to be moving, and it's okay to be moving slow. Slow is good. You just want to evaluate what is causing you to feel what you're feeling, and can you check in on your emotions to nurture the emotion. And if there is inflammation stirring in your body, the awareness, what's going on in your life at this moment of time. Excuse me. So again, those 4 words, emotion. What emotions are you feeling? Are you aware of your emotions? Feeling good or bad doesn't really define your emotion. So if I ask you, how are you feeling today? And you just say to me, I'm feeling good. Can you explore on that a little bit? How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling uplifted? Are you excited to see how the day is going to unfold? What's making you feel good? Or maybe if I ask you, how are you feeling? And you start giving me a list of things that don't feel good, then my next question is going to be, so what can we do so you can feel better about the list of things you said you don't feel good about? Because then it becomes the awareness. Because if you continue to go with the idea that you don't feel well, your thoughts create your reality. So the minute you tell yourself you don't feel well, your thoughts create your reality. That's what's going to show up. So you're going to have moments in your day that's going to mirror not feeling well. So ideally, again, it's becoming aware. If you're not feeling well, what's causing you not to feel well? Do you have a physical symptom? Are you experiencing pain? Are you sad? Are you tired? Are you disappointed? So when you really can get into that mindset of being aware of why you feel what you feel, you can then start to unwrap it like that. You can peel it back like an onion and get to the root of whatever the issue is and really work on healing in the moment of time so you can begin to feel better. So you may wake up in the morning not feeling so great because maybe you didn't have a good night's sleep, or maybe you ate something the day before that's just irritating your stomach, or maybe you just did too much the last couple of days that you're constantly going, and it's finally catching up on you. Whatever that is, it's taking a moment of time in this moment of time to ask, check in on yourself just like you would check in on a friend. How am I feeling today? How am I feeling today? How is my body moving today? Did I get up out of bed and I was able to bend down and touch my toes and it felt good? Or I bent down and touched my toes and I'm like, ooh, how is my body feeling today? Am I able to raise my arms and move my arms out? Is there discomfort? Do I have that range of motion in my body? How is my body feeling today? Where is my body feeling uncomfortable today? Where do I have limited range of motion in my body? So if you're checking in on your body and you have limited range of motion, maybe your arms aren't moving the way you like. Maybe you get to a point on moving your arms and you feel like, ooh, a little stiff there. What do you need to do to release that stiffness? Now, metaphysically, and I'll always refer to the metaphysical part of it, metaphysically, everything has a science explanation and then a metaphysical explanation. I'm a firm believer that when it comes to our physical body, everything's related to the metaphysical because it is really the emotional connection to whatever's going on with our body. So if there's something going on with your shoulder, your arm, you're not able to get that full range of motion, shoulders are related to what are you holding on to? Why do you feel like you got the world sitting on your shoulder? So you may have to reflect on what's been going on in your life, maybe the last 30 days, that maybe you can put down whatever it is you're holding on your shoulders. Let it down. Let it go. Especially if it's things that aren't yours. If you're holding on to other people's problems, you're not their problem solver. You have to let that down. If it's yours, you have to ask yourself one or two questions. First question will be, am I ready to deal with this issue? And if you're ready to deal with this issue, then you want to become proactive and take some action steps to how you're going to deal with whatever that issue is that might be creating the logistical issue to why your shoulder's feeling stiff. Now, being truthful with yourself, if you say, I'm not really ready to address this issue, I don't have time, I don't want to think about it, then you have to be truthful with yourself and say, well, then you know what? I'm not ready to address this issue. So, accepting the fact that in this moment of time, you are not looking to change that issue. So, what can you do so your arm, your shoulder can start to feel better in the moment of time, even though you're not willing to make any changes on an emotional level? Rebecca says her whole body hurts. So again, I know that you're just jumping into this now, Rebecca. Question that you might have to ask yourself is, why is it your whole body hurts? What is going on with your whole body? Now, I know a little bit about Rebecca, and she and I are childhood friends. And Rebecca, if you don't mind me sharing, she just recently lost her dad. So she may have a lot of grief sitting in her body, and whether she's ready to work on healing that grief or not, that's something Rebecca's got to make a decision on. Until whether it's Rebecca or somebody else is ready to really work on that emotion, that's the only way that emotion, that your body is going to begin to heal. Otherwise, if you're going to continue to hold on to the emotion, your body will not be able to heal because you're making a decision not to let go of the emotion, not to heal through the emotion. So we want to pay attention to when we're checking on our physical body and we're saying, okay, I talked about the shoulders. If you're noticing that your arms are not moving in full range of motion, again, the shoulders are about all the shoulds. You're carrying other people's stories, or it's even your story. And maybe it's time to put it down. Another common one, if you're checking in on your body, many of you wake up or go throughout the day and you're feeling discomfort in your back. Whether it's your shoulder blades, which is the upper back, the middle part of the back, or the lower part of the back itself is about support. support. Lower part of the back is financial support. Now, financial support could be that you don't just feel financially supported. So maybe you are that person that recently wrote a book and you're out there promoting your book and people are buying your book, but now all of a sudden you're feeling a certain kind of way about that and your back starts to bother you. It's because you probably experienced something in your childhood about your worthiness, that you're not worthy. And now unconsciously you have this wound that is tapping onto this whole money concept of, oh my God, do I have the right to stand here and sell my book? So again, the experience does not have to be quote unquote a negative experience. Your symptoms could show up because something amazing is happening, but because it is very well attached to a wound from your childhood. So Rebecca says that her hip is also bothering her. So I'm just going to finish up with the back, and then I'll go to the hips. So we think about the back of the body, you know, your lower back, middle back, and upper back, that's support. So if you are someone who is waking up or through the course of your day, you feel that back discomfort, that is support. Whether it's financial support or just support where you're not getting the support, you're not getting the applause that you're looking for, and that may tap into a childhood experience that you weren't being seen. So we need to pay attention to these emotions, to why these symptoms are showing up in the physical body, and how do we release the inflammation that's there? Because the pain is inflammation. When we have pain, there's inflammation. That is the bottom line. If there's pain showing up in the body, there's inflammation there. Inflammation metaphysically is about the anger we hold on to whatever the deep root of story is. Now, to Rebecca's question about her hips. When we talk about the hips itself, the hips are associated with decision making. Now, it's associated with decision making, but it's also very much rooted into our wound and our mother wound. Now, when I speak of mother wound, the mother wound of, and I just said this to a client today that I was working with, the projects that we're working on. Are we mothering the project where we're birthing that project out? Or are we mothering the project where we're not working on something? If we get ourselves caught up in emotion, if we get ourselves caught up in grief or sadness or anger, then we're not allowing our creativity to really flow. And when we deal with hip issues, it could very well be about the wound that we're carrying about ourselves, the judgment we have of ourselves, and that we're not allowing ourselves to fully embrace our deepest desire of life. So again, this comes back again to checking into your awareness. Are you living your best life now? What does that best life look like for you now? Now, again, I had this conversation with my client this morning. We're all looking at becoming the best version of ourselves. However, not all of us are actually doing the work to become the best version of ourselves based on the wounds that we carry. Afraid of being seen, afraid of being heard, afraid of judgment. Those are the things that stop us to living out our biggest fruition of being the best version of ourselves. And these are the reasons why we get the physical symptoms to show up, because we have the internal unconscious emotions that either we're choosing not to be aware of, or we really just suppressed. And again, 4 words I want you to pay attention to: emotions, food, inflammation, awareness. Every area of our body gives us an example, a story of what's going on and what needs to be healed. So every part of our body has something to let us know. So again, if we're feeling that hip discomfort, if the hips are tight hips is being too rigid. We're not flexible on whatever decisions we are making. Or we're in that space where we're holding on to our childhood wounds and we're not allowing ourselves to heal from the wounds we're experiencing. And healing is not something you could do on your own. Healing really requires support. Healing requires what I like to call talk therapy, where you get to talk about whatever it is that's going on right now in your life and then peeling back the onion to get to where the actual issue is. And we cannot do this on our own. We do need support to do this type of work, to get to that space where we can connect with our emotions. So Rebecca, for you, if you're still here, when your hips are bothering you, place your hands on your hips and ask your hips, what is it your hips want you to know? What emotion comes up for you when your hips bother you? What are you feeling at that moment of time when your hips are bothering you? It really is about the awareness. You got to become aware of what it is your body is actually trying to tell you. Because until you make that connection with your body, your physical body, whatever the emotion is, and again, if we're not aware of the emotion and we just have the pain, pain means inflammation. There's inflammation there. So when whatever the inflammation is, whatever we're feeding, whatever we're eating, the food we're eating is going to either add to the inflammation or break down the inflammation. And most of the time is when if we are experiencing physical discomfort in our physical body, we are looking for foods to make us feel better. And I don't know about you, but most people, when they look for foods to make them feel better, they're looking for sweets. They're looking for salt. Foods that's going to make them feel better for the temporary purpose. Yet those foods create added inflammation to the body. So again, we have to get to the root, to the emotion. We have to ask ourselves every single day, every morning, and even a few times throughout the day, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling right now? So you go through the physical. How am I mentally feeling? What are my thoughts right now? What am I thinking about? Am I thinking about something that's making me sad? If you're thinking about something that's making you sad, then think something different that's going to make you happy. It's that simple. It's that simple. You get to decide how long you want to be in that emotion. You get to decide. If you choose to spend the entire day being sad or being angry or being frustrated or being anxious or whatever the feeling is, if you're choosing to do that, you're choosing that. You can very well choose a different feeling when you're ready to choose a different feeling. That emotion that you're mentally feeling, so whatever you're thinking about that may be creating the emotion, change your thinking. Then the next thing is, how are you feeling physically? How does your body feel physically? Does your body feel good? Does your body feel stiff? Does your body feel tight? Does your body hurt when you move? How are you feeling? Does your body feel tired? Pay attention to how your body feels. And whatever the answer is to how your body feels, then ask yourself, what can I do so I can feel better with my body? So if your body's feeling tired, maybe your body's letting you know you need rest. So maybe this is a day where you're going to rest. You're going to do a little less so you can rest. If your body's feeling stiff, maybe it means that you need to do some stretches, gentle stretches, so your body doesn't feel so stiff. If your body's feeling tired, and this one's going to sound weird, but maybe it means your body needs to move. Put on some good dance music and dance. Go in and do some body workout, your own body weight. Squats, lunges, whatever it is, so you can energize your body so your body won't feel tired. When your body feels tired, doesn't mean that you need to sleep. It may mean that you need to move your body to get that energy to move. Same thing that when you're feeling anxious. When you're feeling anxious, you might need to move your body to get that energy to move. Otherwise, if you're just going to sit, you're not gonna stimulate a different reaction to the anxiousness. And all this is really about the awareness, being aware. So we're checking in on when we wake up in the morning, how am I feeling? Mentally, how is my thoughts? How is my mental wellness? Physically, how is my body moving physically? Physically, how is my body moving physically? Where do I feel the discomfort in my body? Where is that showing up? Once you understand where you're feeling discomfort in your body, again, I'm going to run through this really quickly because I just noticed my time. I'm going to run through the basic body parts that most people feel discomfort to give you the metaphysical explanation behind. I'm going to start with the feet. If you are experiencing feet issues, whether you have plantar fasciitis, maybe you have limited range of motion in your ankles, maybe your toes hurt, whatever it is, but your feet are about movement, walking. So if you're waking up and you're feeling like, oh my God, my feet are aching, my toes hurt, the soles of my feet hurt, whatever it is, you may need to ask yourself, am I moving in a pace that's getting me to where I want to be? This is about your progress. Do you feel like you are stuck? Do you feel like things should be moving in a different direction and it's not? That's your feet. Your feet represents your motion. Where are you moving to? Are you moving? Are you looking to move faster than you actually are moving? That's your feet. So yes, we can sit back and use the logistics and say, well, my feet hurt because I was on my feet for 12 hours the other day. That's definitely a part of the story. But besides the logistics, we have the metaphysical explanation as well. So we need to look at both. We need to really learn how to use the right and left side of the brain so we can get to the root of the issue. Because even if you've been on your feet for 12, 13 hours a day, and maybe you went out and bought some really great shoes to wear, and your feet are still hurting, but you haven't addressed the metaphysical part of it, there may be the issue. So we need to become truthful to ourselves. So we move from the feet, we're going to move up into your shins, into your knees, to your shins as well. Because again, if your feet hurt, your plantar fasciitis is hurting, that may very well affect your shins and your calves because of how you're walking. So that could cause that issue as well. Knees. If your knees are hurting, knees are about rigidness. How are you able to bend? How are you able to make different decisions? Are you able to pivot, shift, or are you stubborn? Because that's the knees. That's the knees. If you are not being flexible, if you are not able to see things in a different light, and you really want it to go your way, your knees may hurt you. So you have to ask yourself, where do I need to do this in a different way? How can I do this differently? How can I see it differently? Now again, you might be somebody who's sitting a lot or standing a lot and you're thinking, oh, my knees hurt because of that. That's the logistics. Go to the metaphysical side of it and start asking, where am I being stubborn? Where am I not being flexible? Next area, when we talk about the legs itself, your quads, your hamstrings, maybe they're being tight. Your legs are, again, very much similar to your feet. It's about movement, except with the legs, now it's really about the larger movement. Maybe there's a big leap you're supposed to be taking, and you're not. You're sort of staying where you're standing, so now your legs hurt. Oh my God, my legs hurt. They feel like trunks. Well, because there's a big leap you're supposed to be taking and you're not. So you might be feeling it in your thighs because you're not moving based on your soul's purpose. Next part, your hips, which we just talked about. Hips are all about decision making. Hips are all about the wounds that we carry. So maybe you have some childhood wounds that are surfacing and you're not addressing. You're not allowing yourself to really sit with those wounds so you can heal them. So we have to ask ourselves, when your hips are tight, your hips are stiff, where are you not in alignment with the decisions that you're making or the decisions somebody else is making? Next one, the butt. Your sciatic nerve. I hear a lot about the sciatic nerve, the piriformis. You ever hear the expression, that person's a pain in your butt? Every time you say that person's a pain in your butt, you're literally giving yourself a pain in the butt, because that's really what it is. So think about it the last time you said that person was a pain in the butt, or this is a pain in the ass, excuse the expression. That you are creating that symptom. That's very simple. We talked about the back already, so in case you missed that part, lower, middle, upper, all of it's about support. Whether it's financial support or emotional support or mental support, where are you not getting it? Where are you not giving yourself support? So you have to think about that as well. we're going to move into the arms, into your hands. So when we talk about arms and hands, if your arms hurt, if you're waking up and your elbows hurt, or you're experiencing what we call carpal tunnel, or tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, it really is about knees and elbows are the same. It's about flexibility. If your arms are hurting, that's common. Put whatever it is down that you're holding on to. So whatever emotional stuff you're holding on to, if you really want to carry a 100-pound bag of emotions, from your emotions to your spouse's emotions to your children's emotions to the world's emotion, yes, your arms are going to be tired. How about we put it down? Let it go. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that you don't need to hold on to anymore? Fingers, wrists. If you're experiencing arthritis in your fingers is all about, again, what do you hold on to? Your hands hold on to things. If you got stiffness in your fingers, you are being rigid. You gotta let go. You gotta release the tension. You gotta release whatever it is you're trying to hold on to. The holding on to could very well be physical. It could be things that you have to let go of. We're in a 9 universal energy year. This is a year of letting go of the last 9 years of your life. Reviewing what you no longer need, decluttering your closet, decluttering your mind, decluttering the refrigerator, decluttering what you put in your body. So it's time to let it go. So if you are feeling stiff in your hands, if you have arthritis flaring up in your hands, what do you need to let go of? What is it you need to let go of? Now, in specifics, each finger represents a different metaphysical explanation. I'm not going to go into that. If you want to know more about that, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to share that. Let's talk a little bit about the head. If you're waking up with headaches, migraines, again, that's just too much on your mind. You're over-evaluating everything. You're over-analyzing everything. So you're waking up with pressure in your head. You're over-analyzing. Let it go. If your eyes are bothering you, you got blurry vision, you got a twitch going on, you got glare happening, maybe you need to see things in a different perspective. So if you wear glasses, take the glasses off, clean them, and see if you can see things in a different perspective. Or like little babies do, go down to the downward dog and look up and see if you see things in a different way. Because if your eyes are bothering, it's basically your body's way of letting you know you have to see things in a different perspective. Ears, if your ears hurt, if you get ringing in the ear, your ears get clogged, your ears just hurt, you're constantly doing this, that's obvious. What is it you're not listening to? What is it you're not listening to? That's the obvious. If you are waking or during the course of your day, your ears bother you, what is it you're not listening to? What do you need to hear, or what is being said and you're choosing not to pay attention to? Our body is the biggest messenger we have. And when we start to pay attention and we become aware of how our body is really talking to us, we literally can heal like this. But we need the awareness. We need to make connections to our emotions. We need to recognize the foods that we are eating and how it is feeding the inflammation. And we need the awareness. We do need the awareness. Another thing I want to bring to your attention when we think about the right and left side of the body, the right side of the body is all about the action. Left side of the body is all about receiving. The front of your body is about the moment in time. The back of your body is your past. So again, pay attention to where you're experiencing discomfort. So if you're experiencing discomfort in the front of your shoulder, right here, anterior delt, that's letting you know that the issue is currently happening now. If you're feeling that issue in the back of your shoulder, the rear delt, that's letting you know you're holding on to something from your past. So our body is really great at giving us information if we pay attention to what's going on with our body. If you have things going on with your right ear, it's again, what action are you not listening to? If you have things going on with your left ear, what is it you need to receive? What are you looking to hear that maybe you're not willing to hear? Pay attention. Pay attention. 4 words again: emotions, food, information, awareness. Pay attention. Pay attention. Wake up and pay attention. Because really, healing is an inside job. And when you become more aware, and you really allow yourself to experience the emotions that you're going through, whatever you're going through in this moment of time, and when someone says to you, how are you feeling today, it's not good or bad. It's not good or bad. Answer yourself, how are you feeling today? I feel great. I feel magnificent. I feel energized. I feel motivated. I feel desired. And ask yourself these questions in the morning. How's my body feeling today? Pay attention to what you did yesterday, what you did the day before. Pay attention to what you ate yesterday and the day before. Because what you ate yesterday and the day before and the day before that may very well be showing up now in your physical body 3 days later. So pay attention. Pay attention. Again, your 4 words as I'm going to go: emotions, food, inflammation, awareness. All that being said, I'm hoping I said something that's resonating with each and every one of you. If you wish to reach out to me, feel free to message me. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon, the founder of Holistic Fitness. And why? That W is all about the whole person. You are more than your physical body. You are your emotions, your thoughts, your soul and spirit. It's very important to become more aware and embody your physical body so you can gain the messages your body has for you. Until we meet again on the other side.